I don't know if this is going to work, but I think it will. idcwoodcraft.com. I did a video the other day on this Airweights vacuum table. What this is a device where you can put your CNC project on just like that, turn a vacuum on, and it holds the project down, and you can carve, then you can switch to a big project and put it down, and you don't use clamps, CA glue. And when I did that video, I got a couple types of comments on that video. One type of comment was the people that actually bought this vacuum system for the benchtop CNC router, you know, for like a LongMill, Millwright, Shapeoko, Onefinity. And they said that they will never or don't go back to clamps or CA glue. And I got another type of comment that said, this is worthless because you can't do cutout. I think we can. And I'm going to try that right now just to see. So what I mean by cutout is, you know, we cut in a project out on and we make this cut on our spoil board. We're basically cutting all the way through into the bed of the machine. And some people say that'll ruin this whole thing. Well, there's two things that I think that they're wrong on. One is you can cut into any of this in here as long as you don't cut down into that channel right there where your seal goes. And so I'm going to cut into it. I want to cut into this. I'm going to see if I can make this work. And the other one is with this tile gasket. Yes, you can cut into it. I'm actually going to cut all the way through the tile gasket and still hold a vacuum. So let's give this thing a whirl. What I've done is I basically, using the program that cuts out this marble maze, I just made it deeper. Instead of doing an onion skin, we're going to cut out. We're going to cut right into this thing. We're going to make sure it holds a vacuum on the main part, and then I'm going to reposition these seals so that they actually cross over the areas that I cut into the Airweights table. So, and make sure I can hold a seal there. So, first of all, I just want to talk to you a little bit about vacuum tables. I did a video on what this unit is. A vacuum table is designed to enable you to quickly and efficiently put your parts down, hold them down, do all your carving, take it off without using clamps or CA glue. And this vacuum system has been used in industry for years, but there's never been a unit available for you and me with a benchtop unit. If you wanted one, you had to make your own. So there was a guy named Jace. He actually developed this. It's the only vacuum system for our benchtop units, and this thing works really good. And but I want to prove if this is going to work or not. So I would definitely check out that video, I'll link it up in the top corner of this video, and I'll also link it down in the description. If you're tired of using clamps, CA glue, and just want a really quick way of doing this, then I definitely suggest you consider it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put this project down right here. We're going to turn the vacuum on, and I'm going to do a cutout, and I'm going to cut into this board, and then I'm going to reposition it, and we're going to cut again. So I got to turn my vacuum on, set my 0. So let's turn the vacuum on here. Oh yeah. Nice and held down. Let's 0 the project out. So this board is, I believe, exactly 3/4 of an inch thick. We're just going to do a quick measure on it. You know, just measure right there. Okay, 0.753, and I've set this up to cut 0.76, so that will actually cut into the table. What I'm sure we can't do is actually cut into the channel, which is something we don't want to do. But did you see that? I want to show you real quick before we start. Let's turn this pump off. Is how fast and easy it is to set a project down like this. Now it's still holding. Ooh, there we go. Come on, loosen up. There we go. So I position my project, whatever references I use, put it in place. Let's just make sure I'm set up on my crosshair there. And I'm going to turn on my vacuum pump. And voila. So much faster than clamps and CA glue. Gosh, I love this. All right, we are going to rock and roll. Let's just run this program. All right. Oh yeah. Look at it. So we got some little plastic pieces there. We've cut right into the table. Okay, let's go over here. So the deal is the seal is still inside here. Oh my goodness. It's holding on. There we go. Come on, baby. Ugh. All right. So I did a cutout. I started to cut into the bed, and that was a very clean cutout. I need to go just a little bit deeper so I can eliminate all this while I'm using a down cutter, so it's not going to eliminate that. So I'd be using a compression bit on this. So let's cut a little deeper. Let's see what happens. So basically, I just lowered my Z0 by a 0.02. So that's going to take a deeper cut here. As long as it doesn't cut into that channel, we're going to be fine. I just want to get a nice groove right there, and then we can reposition things again. So let's just set that up. You always want to make sure your seal is clean. And I pulled this seal out. Oh, no, there it is. Got a really good seal going on there. Watch this. Sawdust everywhere. We're going to turn the pump on. Drop that thing right down. I so want you to see this. Get that camera right in here so people can see exactly what this thing does. I'm going to release that vacuum. So you see you got a gap right here. We're going to turn that pump on. That thing draws right down. Let's hit this. Let's run it again. Okay, go, we got that. Still got a rock solid hold on it. So, okay, we are going to just clean some of the sawdust off so we can see exactly what we've done. Okay, let's just show our cuts. Release, release, release. Wow, that vacuum will not release. Come on, baby. You know you got a good seal when it's doing that. Okay. Oh yeah, we got some cut going on right there. I'm using up down cut. Okay, there it is. So we got a good groove right in there. Feel like groove, Adam, my camera guy?
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah, fairly deep groove. Okay, what I'm going to do is now we're going to see if this works. I'm going to move this and put my seals across these cuts and see if we can make sure this works if we do cutouts. And then we're going to switch over to the tile gasket, which I'll explain to you about that in a minute. But basically, just thinking about this is absolutely going to work even if you cut into these plates, as long as you don't cut past the seal point where the gaskets, the seal is sitting in the channels. All right, we're going to clean up and we're going to reposition. So let's take a look at this. Let's just get a careful look at how deep we just cut. Look at, so you can see right there, I cut almost halfway through that seal, which means I'm cut really deep into the project piece as well. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to make sure my seal runs across these cut areas here. So we're just going to reposition right across the cut areas. We just want to make sure we got no sawdust in there. Got a cut seal right here, so that's one thing you can't do. You can't have the cut seal somewhere in the middle where the vacuum is being drawn down, because the air will pass by that. But once you get things set up, that's only because I got long seal. Otherwise, the seal is within the boundaries of the project itself, so it's not going to make a difference. There we go. Looking good. You can see I just really didn't even put even a whole lot of effort in making sure that seal is seated. Very good. Let's get a project here. So let's just take a look and see what my setup is. I have placed my vacuum across this cut right here. Unfortunately, the way I set it up, we only got a little bit of a cut in this channel here, right by the channel. So otherwise I'd do it with two of them. My fault for not setting it up, but one cut's good enough. Let's see how this puppy works now. Doing a cutout. We're going to turn the vacuum on. You know what? Let's take a look at this. You can zoom into this, how crappy of a cut this is. Can you see all that fur on there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what this is I cut these out on that last video, and I used a 1/4-inch ball nose and the 1/4-inch ball nose upcut end mills. And that's pretty much all you can get. And you know that upcuts leave a lot of tear out, and that's exactly what this is. So here at IDC Woodcraft, I don't just make router bits or provide router bits, I design them. And I got tired of this kind of cut with the ball nose because you got to sand all that crap out. So I came up with a new design of the 1/4 ball nose, and this is the cut that it left. No tear out whatsoever. And I will, when that's available, then I will make that available to you. We're going to drop that down, and that's held right down. All right, let's do another cutout. I got to recenter my Z, and we are going to be cutting into the board again. I mean, I'm going to do it over and over again, but I want to switch over. I just want to show that this does work, and run it. I got this thing set at 70 inches per minute, but I've been bumping it up to 120 inches per minute on the 1/4-inch down cutter. This thing holds so tight that you can do that. Rock solid. All right, we'll cut another channel out. We're going to move this again, and we're going to do it again. I just got to blow things off, reset things up. In the meantime, I just want to just reiterate why these things are so efficient for your CNC. Number one, you're not building your own, you're buying speed and ease. You'll be able to interchange your materials really quick. You always know your Z reference, things like that. But you can, I mean, here's how fast we switch parts out. I'm going to release this vacuum, and you do that by simply pulling that. The vacuum is released. We're going to drop another part on top. There it is. It's that quick. It's that quick. No clamps, no CA glue, and obviously I can go from size to size. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. But I'm going to reposition this now, and we're going to do this again. So now I've got two cuts. Come on in and just see. We got this cut right here. Feel that one. Tell me how deep that is.
Oh yeah, that's deep.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's put our seal in. All right. Take a look here. Come on in. We're coming across two cuts. I've just repositioned all my seals. And I'm coming across cut here, here, and here. So let's see what happens with that. Sawdust off the bottom of the board. Top of the seal is clear. There's my vacuum port way in the corner. Let's drop her down. Come up, baby. Oh yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah. Let's reposition this and run it again. I could cut into this thing all day long. Again, you can't cut into this so deep that you actually cut into these channels. As long as you don't cut into them, you're fine. So we're going to run this one out, and we're going to switch over to the other board. I mean, this is so fast and efficient. Still rock solid. Let's see how well my vacuum holds when I turn the pump off. Still hanging. I'm ruining all my marble mazes. There we go. So, case in point, you can cut through this thing all day long. All right, we are going to switch over to the tile gasket. This stuff, which is, this is more consumable. If you don't want to cut into that thing, then you can still cut into this thing and it's still going to work. So let's set up for that. So at the end of the day, I've just done, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 cutouts. And this thing has worked just fine. as I've made cuts into this board here. Now, one of the things, just to keep in mind, you're cutting into plastic, and so it was leaving little like pieces here and there hanging up, so I just had to scrape it off when I did that. It's just one of those things. It's just like when we're doing anything with our machine, we got to clean off the surface. So I'm a huge proponent of this type of system because it's so fast. It's buying speed when you're buying a piece of equipment like this. It's upgrading your CNC routing, making life a lot easier. It's enabling you to get into making your project faster, and it's eliminating clamps and CA glue. I absolutely endorse the Airweights vacuum system. This is the only one available for our benchtop CNC routers. And I will put a link down below if this is something you want to consider. But I also, again, encourage you to watch that video I made that dives into how to use this thing. The only thing we're doing here is showing you that you don't need to cut tabs on your projects. You can cut into the baseboard and the vacuum system will still work. So we've done it with just the grid here. Now we're going to go over to the tile gasket. And basically, tile gasket is it's a thin foam. It's glued onto MDF, and this is something that MDF is used as a vacuum surface in industrial machines. So the air does pass through it. The only thing you need to do is just seal the edges of the MDF with some glue, because air will go through the path of least resistance. So where is my, I got a plug here. So I had to take out all the plugs, make sure my seal is clean all the way around. And we're going to drop this thing on. So now I've got this tile plate on. The reason you see all these white pieces here, it's reducing the amount of leakage that's going through all these other ports. So let's see how this works. All right, let's run it. We're going to cut into this. We're actually cutting into this plate here. So I changed my height so it actually went down into it, and I have to re-zero. All right. So let's just turn the pump on. Still holding nice and sound, nice and solid. And so we've cut into the tile gasket a little bit. I can feel it right there. And the tile gasket actually gave way a little bit. So let's cut deeper. I want to cut deeper into this thing. So now we're actually cutting deeper into this. I should be cutting all the way through the tile gasket this time. I'm using the same board. We're actually cutting a smaller square out of this. So we're getting a good idea how well this tile gasket holds a project down. You do have to be a little more concerned about sawdust on here, because any sawdust can actually lift a project up. It should, when it sucks it down, pull your sawdust pieces down into the tile, and that way it'll still seal, but you always want to keep a clean surface. Let's run this puppy out. Project piece held down just fine. Blow this thing off. So clearly I've cut through the project. It cut it right out, and it's still rock solid on there. I actually tried to cut through the gasket and it wouldn't cut through. So we're going to go a little bit deeper. And we're going to go smaller. Let's see if this thing can hold up on a small area. So also at first, when I was trying to position this, it wasn't really holding down. But what I'm finding is after a little bit, it really seats itself. But I'm going to move this now. We got a bunch of little cuts in here, and we're going to cut another piece out. We're going to cut another square with this crossed over these cut areas, and we'll see if it works. And this will be it. This air weight system, I got a link down below. I swear by this. Now, let's turn this thing off because I want to talk to you for a minute. So I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, of course, and I don't endorse products lightly because I want to make sure that I bring to you not just quality content, quality router bits, and give you quality customer service, but all the other things that enhance your CNC projects, like the Vectric software. I prefer that one. The LongMill CNC router is a good hobby benchtop CNC router. This is this type of, any benchtop CNC router is really classified as a hobby machine. I will not endorse a product if a company does not have a good product nor a good customer service. So just because of the convenience of this is why I endorse this. I want to make sure this would work from what people said. They said you couldn't cut through these things into these plates and have a good cutout. And yes, you can. This just speeds things up. Yes, when you buy things like this, it's going to cost you a little bit. But you know what? That's just upgrading your system. Air weights, this thing is definitely a game changer for your CNC. The vacuum setup is really amazing. This tile gasket, I'll have to work with it a little bit more. They got the other plate right here, which I talked about in that video. This probably works the best out of all three methods. It's the fastest and easiest. All right, I'm going to put a link down below. Check out this air weights. Definitely check out that video and decide whether you want a unit like this. It comes in 24 by 24 and 24 by 48. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft. Give me a thumbs up if this video is helpful one way or the other. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a comment down below. Tell me what your thoughts are and whether you think this would be useful for you or not. With that, have a great day, better tomorrow, and go check this thing out. Happy CNCing. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft. Catch you later. IDCwoodcraft.com